Tonight, a clear inflection point is emerging in the Ukraine-Russia war. The US plan to draw a close to this bloody conflict has hit the rocks yet again. President Trump's unorthodox diplomatic gambit, sending his real estate guys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner to negotiate a peace deal, has stuck in the mud. And the reason is no mystery. Vladimir Putin's intransience. He's stalling. He's convinced Russia will simply outlast Ukraine, outlast Donald Trump, and outlast the West. Now, thanks to a leaked transcript of a telephone call, we know Europe's leaders fear the very worst, that Donald Trump and the United States may simply just walk away. President Macron of France warned on the call that America could be about to betray Ukraine. Other voices said there was a widespread distrust of Witkoff and Kushner, even cautioning that President Zelensky should not even be left alone in a room with them. So is Europe's worst-case scenario, or have they got a point here? A bold $150 billion loan funded by seizing frozen Russian assets is being pushed forward to keep Kyiv and its fighting machine alive. But here comes the usual Euro drama. The biggest holdout isn't a neutral fringe state or some sort of legislation, it's Belgium. With most of the frozen billions sitting in Belgian Euro-clear vaults, that tiny little country is dragging its feet. They're worried about lawsuits, Kremlin retaliation, and being left holding the hot potato. But here's the truth that no one wants to say. If Belgium doesn't grow a backbone, and Europe won't guarantee its liability, then that lifeline for Zelensky, that lifeline for Ukraine, and the Ukraine armed forces is dead. And if that is dead, Ukraine's window to survive this brutal invasion goes up in smoke. Whispers in Washington are getting louder and louder by the day that Trump is ready to cut Ukraine loose. He's tried his best. He said he'd end this in a week. He said it'd end it in a month. And now here we are, 15 months later, and still no breakthrough. But he has a point. This isn't necessarily America's war. He says this is a war on the European continent. It falls to Europe to deal with it first. That's the cold hard calculus of America first. But if anyone really needs a reminder of what really is at stake, or just how murderous Russia's intentions are, then today proved it. In the United Kingdom, a public inquiry concluded that Dawn Sturgess, a mother of three, a civilian, was ultimately killed by Vladimir Putin's goons in a grotesque show of power. Murder with a chemical weapon on the streets of England. The inquiry chairman said Mad Vlad was morally responsible for that death. Dawn died after being accidentally exposed to Novichok, discarded by Russian bungling agents after their assassination attempt of one of their own, defector Sergei Skripal. The inquiry found that it must have been authorized by the highest levels of the Kremlin, i.e. Putin himself. The operation used a snazzy perfume bottle containing enough nerve agent to kill thousands. And while Dawn Sturgess wasn't the target, she was collateral damage in an illegal and outrageous act of state terrorism on British soil. If Europe ever needed a reminder of what happens when Putin acts with impunity, well, there it is. So the question tonight is brutally simple. Will Europe take this bold gamble required to save Ukraine, or retreat once again into fear, hesitation, division, and the false hope that Putin's ambitions will somehow stop at somebody else's border?